Hello everyone, and welcome back to my monthly horror roundup, where I list off every horror movie coming out in the month of May, quickly tell you what they're about, and where you can watch them. First, on May 5th, the third Saturday in October can be rented digitally. When a psycho goes on a murderous rampage after surviving a botched execution, only two survivors of his initial attack can stop him. On May 12th, Hesera the Bone Woman streams on Shudder. Valeria, a young woman expecting her first child, becomes cursed by a sinister entity. Plunged into a terrifying and dangerous world, a group of witches emerge as her only hope for safety and salvation, but not without grave risk. Also on May 12th, Distress Signals comes to VOD. When a fall down a steep rock face separates her from her friends, Caroline finds herself stranded. Now, alone with her dislocated shoulder, she must make her way out of the woods, and contend with how she got there. A third film comes out on May 12th, as Oregon Trail will be released to select theaters. A young Abigail Archer, alone in Montana winter during the 1870s, fights for her survival and to retrieve her one earthly possession, a family horse from a gang of bloodthirsty bandits. A fourth and final film comes out on May 12th, and that is The Five Devils. Vicky lives with her mother Joanne and father Jimmy, a man struggling to find his place. When Vicky's Aunt Julie arrives after being released from prison, her presence brings back the past in a violent, magical way. 2 days later, on May 14th, Giving Birth to a Butterfly can be rented digitally. After having her identity stolen, a woman and her son's pregnant girlfriend bond together on a surreal journey as they attempt to track down the perpetrators. The next week, on May 19th, Consecration can be streamed on Shudder. After the suspicious death of her brother, a priest heads to a covenant in Scotland to find out what really happened, and soon comes to distrust the account of the church as she uncovers murder, sacrilege, and a disturbing truth about her own shadowy past that brings long-buried trauma to the surface. And last, on May 26th, Influencer releases on Shudder. While struggling on a solo backpacking trip in Thailand, social media influencer Madison meets CW, who travels with ease and shows her a more uninhibited way of living. But as their trip progresses, CW's interest in her takes a darker turn. Of all the movies I just listed, my pick for my most anticipated horror movie for the month of May is, I guess, Hesera the Bone Woman? And look, I'm not trying to badmouth it. I've heard some good things about Hesera, the trailer looks scary, and the released images are fairly intriguing. But I can't say I'm extremely excited. This wouldn't be my number one choice most months. May overall has one of the weaker collection of horror releases I've seen in this video in a long time. I kept checking all these different websites to see if I missed any theatrical horror movies, but while Little Mermaid, Fast X, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 are coming out, there are just no major horror releases. May has no Scream or Evil Dead, or even a Knock at the Cabin level film. I guess this month will be a great time for all of us horror fans to either check out some under-the-radar horror releases, or go back and watch something we may have missed. Personally, I still have to watch both Renfield and The Pope's Exorcist. As well, I am hosting a private theatrical screening of Insidious in early May as part of my newly founded local horror club, so at the very least, I know I'll be watching one great horror movie in theaters this May. Alright, those are the new horror movies coming out this May. In the comments below, please let me know what your most anticipated movie of the month is. As well, I still have the nagging feeling that I forgot a few movies, so if I did, I will pin them in a comment down below. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, Horror Flicks with Nick. Twice a week, I post horror reviews, commentaries, and short recommendations for horror movies you should watch on Netflix and other streaming services. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all back in June.